In the beginning, before tears, before pain, before death, there was a world without sorrow. A world where the wind carried no fear, where the earth yielded fruit without struggle, and where humanity walked beside God Himself. But one choice, one whisper, one forbidden fruit changed the destiny of the entire human race. This is the story of how sorrow entered the world. In the dawn of creation, when the earth was young and untouched, God formed the heavens and the earth. He stretched the skies like a vast curtain of light. He gathered the oceans into deep blue seas. The mountains rose proudly from the land, and rivers flowed like silver threads through green valleys. Every creature had its place. Birds filled the sky with song. Fish danced through the waters. Animals roamed freely across the fields. And then God created man. From the dust of the earth, He formed Adam, the first man, and from Adam, God created Eve, the first woman, whose name means Mother of all living. God placed them in a garden unlike any place the world has ever known, the Garden of Eden, a place of beauty, peace, and perfect joy. Here, Adam and Eve walked with God. Here, they knew no fear, no hunger, no pain. Everything was theirs to enjoy. Everything except one thing. In the center of the garden stood a mysterious tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God gave Adam one command: "You may eat from every tree of the garden, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you must not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." For a time, Adam and Eve lived in perfect obedience. But hidden among the animals of the garden was a creature more cunning than all the rest, the serpent. One quiet day, as Eve wandered near the forbidden tree, the serpent spoke. "So, God told you not to eat from the trees of the garden." Eve answered, "Oh no, we may eat from every tree except one. God said we must not eat from it, nor touch it, or we will die." The serpent smiled. "You will not surely die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will become like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, perfect, tempting. Slowly, she reached out her hand. She plucked the fruit, and she ate. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate as well. And in that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but what they saw was not glory, it was shame. For the first time, they knew sin. Fear entered their hearts. The garden that once felt like home suddenly felt strange and silent. When they heard the voice of God walking in the garden, they hid. "Adam, where are you?" God called. Adam answered with trembling voice, "I heard your voice, and I was afraid, so I hid." "Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat?" Adam said, "The woman you gave me, she gave me the fruit." God turned to Eve. "What have you done?" "The serpent deceived me," she said quietly. And so the judgment came. To the serpent, God declared humiliation. To the woman, sorrow. To the man, hardship. "The ground is cursed because of you. By the sweat of your brow you will eat food until you return to the dust." And so Adam and Eve were driven from the Garden of Eden. Behind them stood an angel with a flaming sword, guarding the way back to paradise. The world had changed forever. Time passed. Outside the garden, life became difficult. Adam and Eve had 2 sons. The first was Cain, a worker of the soil. The second was Abel, a shepherd. One day, both brothers brought offerings to God. Cain brought fruits from the ground. Abel brought the finest lamb from his flock. God looked with favor upon Abel's offering, but not upon Cain's. And Cain's heart filled with anger. God warned him gently, "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, you will be accepted." But jealousy had already taken root. One day, in the quiet of the field, Cain attacked his brother, and Abel fell to the ground. The first death in human history, the first murder, and sorrow grew deeper. Later, God asked Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied coldly, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But God answered, "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Because of his crime, Cain was cursed to wander the earth, a restless fugitive, marked by his sin. Thus sorrow entered the world, first through disobedience, then through jealousy, then through violence. From one act of rebellion came pain, labor, fear, and death. But the story does not end there, because the Bible is not only the story of how sin entered the world, it is the story of how God would one day defeat it, how sorrow would one day be healed, and how hope would rise again. From the Garden of Eden to the fields of Cain and Abel, humanity learned a painful truth. Every choice carries consequences. But even in humanity's darkest moments, God never abandoned his creation. Through every generation, through every trial, the promise of redemption remained. And the rest of the Bible tells that story. If you enjoy discovering the mysteries and powerful stories of the Bible, subscribe to this channel, because the next story may change the way you see the world forever.